Hi, this is Malachy Cleary. My contact number is 845-216-8710, and my agent in New York is Francis Del Duca at Fifi Oscard, and that number is 212-764-1100. Hello, Joe, and I need to use some glasses to glance at the script, but they're non-reflective. I hope it works for you, and I'll try to post this to YouTube. So here it goes as Jack in the Weir. No. Oh, no, darling, never married. But I do be telling this fella to be on the lookout. A young fella like him, not to end up like me. Oh, sure. Would have me. A cantankerous old fucker like me. Yeah. That's a thing, you know. I do say to Brendan, yeah, I'm down at the garage and the feckin' tin roof on the thing, and on my own down the country road, and you see it was bypassed on the road to Carrick, and there's no, like, in the summer, the place has the heat like an oven with the roof, and, or if it's not that, it's the rain pelting down like bricks, the noise of it. And if you'll be the only car stopping by, there's someone that knows the area real well, you know. And you definitely feel like... But, you know, I get down here for a pint and that. And there's a lot to be said for the company. And, you know, the someone there. You know. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Sure I did. Sure, what the hell else does a young fella be thinking about, you know? And Brendan knows, you know, I had a lovely girl back then. We were courting 3 years, 63 to 66, but she wanted to go up to Dublin, you know. She would have felt that that's what we should have done, and I don't know why it was a thing with me, you know, that I had this irrational fear, I suppose, that just kept me here, but I just couldn't understand why she wanted me to go running up to Dublin, you know. And she did, anyway, like. And she was working up there and waiting for me to come. With me, it was a mad thing, you know. I thought it was 1,000 feckin' miles away. I just hated going up. I went up a few times, like, but I was going up for... You know, well, she had a room, and, you know, a freezing damn place, but what I was a terrible fellow. It became like it was the only thing I was going up for, you know, and I couldn't stand being away. I don't know why I'd be all excited about going up for the physical, you know, the freedom of it. But after a day and a night, and I'd had my fill, I'd be walking in the park, old Catty and Bard and Moochie, and breaking the poor girl's heart. And you get older, you know, and you look back on why you did things. You see that a lot of the time, there wasn't a reason. It was, you just do things out of pure cussedness. I stopped answering her letters, and I'd fucking dread one coming to the house, you know. And I'd heard it wondering how I was, and was there something wrong with the post and this. And I can't explain what carry-on I was up to. I just left her out, you know, being a big fella, you know, me dad handing over the business to me swanning around, you know, a man of substance. And then I get to the gal to feeling resentful when she wrote and said she was getting married to a fella. And it was all her fault for going up in the first place, you know. Well, there was a delegation of people from all around here going up to the wedding on a bus, and I was just one of the crowd, one of the guests in my suit, and the shoes nearly polished off me, and a hangover, like, whoa, you wouldn't believe. I've been up to 5 or more, you know, swilling this stuff, and looking at the fire, and we were all on the bus at 9, and all the chat all around. That's why she hadn't come home to get married, and me as sick as a dog. And the smell of brule cream off all its coaches sitting in the church in Phibsborough, and her lovely looking nurse friends and their guard boyfriends. And she was marrying a guard, huge fella, shoulders like a big gorilla, and they were coming down the aisle after. And I caught her eye, and I gave her the cheesiest little grin you ever seen. A little grin that was saying, enjoy your big gorilla, because I've got the future all ahead of me. And she just looks at me like I was another guest at the wedding. And that was that. And the future was all ahead of me. Years and years of it. I could feel it coming. All those things you've got to face on your own, all by yourself. And you bear it because you're showing everybody that you're a great fella altogether. But I left the church like a little boy, and I walked away. I couldn't go to the reception. I just kept walking, and there was a late rain, and I just kept walking. And I was in a town. I was in a dark day, like there was a roof over the city, and I found myself in a little labyrinth of streets with nothing doing, and I ducked into a pub, little dark place, just one or two others there, and a business-like barman, like yourself, Brevin, huh? Business-like, dutiful. And I put a pint or two away and a small one or two. And I sat there, just looking out at the dirty wooden bar. And the barman asked me, was I all right? Simple little question. And I said I was. And he said he'd make me a sandwich. And he said I said okay. And I nearly started crying. Because, here was someone just... And I watched him. He took 2 big slices of a fresh loaf and buttered them. Carefully spreading it all around. I'll never forget it. And he sliced some cheese and some cooked ham and onion out of a jar. And put it on a plate. He sliced it down the middle. And just someone doing this for me. And putting it down in front of me. Get that down now, Get that down, You're down, And he said, and he folded up his newspaper and put it on his jacket and went off on a break. And then there was another barman then. And I took this sandwich up. And I could hardly swallow it because of the lump in my throat. But I ate it down because someone I didn't know had done this for me. Such a small thing. But a huge thing in my condition. It fortified me like no meal I've ever had in my life. And I went to the reception and I was properly ashamed of myself. There was a humility I've tried to find since. But, goodness wears off. And it just gets easier to be a contrary bollocks. Down at the garage. Spinning small jobs out all day. Taking hours to fix a puncture. Stops you thinking about what might have been and what you should have done. It's like looking away, like I did at the reception. You should only catch someone's eye for the right reason. And I tell without her name in the room. Well, I do be at this fella, don't I? I might be on my way now.